That is impression techniques in complete denture. Impression techniques in complete denture. Okay. All these will be, you will be familiar with, because we are very familiar with the clinical procedures. So we'll be discussing briefly about it. Okay. Okay. Main principle of impression making is that to cover the maximum area possible so that you can have equal distribution of stress by the denture into the underlying bone over the mucosa. Okay, so you have to cover the maximum possible denture supporting area. That is the one of the principle of impression making. So maximum coverage, that is known as the horseshoe effect. Okay, horseshoe effect, so that you have maximum coverage. And to achieve the closest contact possible with the underlying epithelium, you should get the closest contact with the underlying epithelium, so that there is a surface tension created between the denture and the soft tissue due to the thin film of saliva. Okay. And third one is to establish a peripheral seal so that it will provide retention. Okay. So these are the principles for impression making. Now operator position for maxillary impression. While taking the maxillary impression, the operator should be behind the patient. It should be behind the patient, and head position of the patient should be at the elbow level of the operator. Head position of the patient should be at the elbow level of the operator. Clear? While taking the mandibular denture, the operator should be at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock position. 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock position. Then he should be in front of the patient and at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock position. Clear? Now, objectives of impression making. It was given by Boucher. 5 objectives are the preservation of the alveolar ridge, retention, stability, support, and aesthetics. Sorry. So you have to preserve whichever alveolar tissue are present, we have to preserve it. Second one, we have to get retention due to that impression procedure. The denture or the process should be stable. Stability means the property which resists the movement of the denture due to lateral forces. Support means which resists the movement of the denture towards the tissue. Aesthetics, yes, it should be aesthetic. So aesthetics of a complete denture starts from the first step of impression making. Okay, so from the impression making, you have to consider about the aesthetics of the denture. Clear? Now techniques. There are open mouth technique and closed mouth technique. Open mouth technique, closed mouth technique. In open mouth, again, 3 theories of impression making are the mucostatic, mucocompressive, and selective pressure technique. Mucostatic, mucocompressive, and selective pressure technique. Again, 2-stage techniques are the single stage or double stage. In single stage, you are directly taking the impression and going with the denture fabrication. In double stage technique is what we follow nowadays. We take a primary impression. After that, we make a special tray. Then with the special tray, we do the border molding. Then with the you can keep your mouse apart. Okay, somebody is drawing over the screen. Okay, double stage technique in which you take a primary impression, special tray is fabricated. With the special tray, you go for the border molding. After border molding, then you go for the wash impression. That is the 2-stage technique. Okay, now coming to theories of impression making. We have already discussed that 3 theories are the pressure technique or the mucocompressive theory, minimal or the mucostatic theory, in which selectively we will apply pressure over some region and some regions will be relieved from this pressure. Okay. So coming to pressure technique or the mucocompressive technique, it was put forward by Carroll Jones. That is the first thing you have to remember. Carroll Jones put forward mucocompressive technique. Here, impression is taken in the functional form, or the impression is taken in such a way that we will compress the soft tissue. We will compress the soft tissue to get retention. Okay. Now, disadvantage of this impression technique was during the movements of the soft tissue, these soft tissue will rebound and will dislodge the denture. So that was the problem with this technique. So Carroll Jones was the first person to put forward the mucocompressive technique. So again, these tissues are subjected to continuous pressure, and that can also result in resorption of the basal tissue or the basal bone. So the materials used for the impression of mucocompressive techniques are impression compound and waxes. Okay, impression compound and waxes both are the mucocompressive impression material. So the primary impression that we frequently take, is somebody is drawing over the screen, please avoid it. Okay. Okay. The primary impression which we take with the impression compound, that is the a typical example for mucocompressive impression technique. Coming to mucostatic method. Mucostatic method was first put forward by Richardson. And Page. Page was the person who propagated it. Okay. Who propagated it. If you don't have the option Richardson in the four options, if you don't have Richardson, then go for Page. Okay. So if you have got Richardson, then that is the better answer. If you don't have it, then Page is the person who had propagated the mucostatic impression method. Okay. So what here we do is we take an impression with a mucostatic material. Mucostatic material, that means that don't compress the mucosa. That is very passive, or that does not compress the mucosa. So either it can be impression plaster or thin mix of alginate. Here retention is due to close contact of the denture and the soft tissue, and there will be a thin film of saliva that will provide surface tension. Okay, so that is how we get retention in a mucostatic impression method. Clear? So it was put forward by Richardson and propagated by Page. Clear? Selective pressure technique, that is the technique now we follow. Okay, so what we do in our routine practice is the selective pressure technique. It was introduced by Boucher. What we do is we selectively apply pressure over some region so that they provide retention, and selectively relieve some region which cannot bear the stress. Okay, so that is achieved by making a special tray, so that there will be a stress bearing areas can be recorded and the relief areas can be relieved. Okay, that is selective pressure technique. So the conventional two-stage procedure is the technique what we follow now due to this selective pressure technique. In this conventional technique, what we do is we take a primary impression either with a alginate or impression compound. After that, we make a special tray with that, with the cast what we get from the primary impression, that will from the primary cast. So how to take primary impression? We have to select a tray, stock tray for taking the primary impression. So from the available stock trays, we will check the position. We will check the size of the stock tray. The tray should be 5 to 6 mm larger than the ridge. Okay, 5 to 6 mm larger than the ridge, and tray adjustment can be done with a player. Okay, tray adjustment can be done. After that, the excess we can cut and remove it. Wherever we have to shape it, we can shape it. Then we take the primary impression. Now, either you can take it with a impression compound, or what we can do is with a wax, we can borders of the trays can be first recorded. At the central stop of the tray again can be recorded. After that, mark the posterior border of the denture, locate the Hamler notch, mark it, then place alginate over the region and load the tray with alginate and place it. Now, how to place the primary impression tray? First posteriorly, then anteriorly, so that the material does not flow posteriorly, so that we can record the alveolar sulcus properly. Okay, so primary impression, the tray is loaded posteriorly first, then anteriorly. Posteriorly first, then anteriorly, so that the material flows anteriorly, not posteriorly. Okay, then we do the border movements, labial movements, buccal, cheek, everything is done. Then we get the primary impression. Okay, from that again the mandible, again the borders extension are marked, tray trimmed. Then again with the utility wax, the lingual borders are again adjusted. Then you can take it with the alginate. Okay, patient is asked to do the tongue movements and cheek movements has to be done. Tongue movements, tongue outward for recording the lingual frenum. Lateral movements is done. Lateral movements is done to record the alveolo-lingual sulcus in the mylohyoid and the post-mylohyoid region. Anterior tongue movement. Tongue is asked to touch the upper lip, or tongue is asked to put outward in order to record the anterior portion of the alveolar lingual sulcus. Middle and posterior region are recorded by the lateral movements of the tongue. Okay, distobuccal region is recorded with by asking the patient to close the mouth against the force. Then buccal and labial sulcular depth are recorded by asking the patient or doing the cheek movements downward, outward, and upward. Clear? That's how we get the primary impression for the mandible. Okay. The same thing we can do it with the impression compound, very similar way. Only thing is that we have to soften it with a warm bath, then mold it with the hand and the tongue. Okay. So that is how we do it with the impression compound. No, we don't use plaster of Paris nowadays. We never use plaster of Paris nowadays because it is messy, and again it is difficult to handle, and retrieval also is very difficult. Without fracturing of the impression material, it is very difficult. Okay. So again, if you have to line the impression compound with alginate, that can be also done. Impression compound can be, primary impression can be lined with the alginate also. Okay. Now after that, make a special tray with the primary impression cast, that is the primary cast. We fabricate a special tray for the secondary impression. Extension of the secondary tray is checked. It should be kept 2 mm short of the sulcus depth. After that, the borders after that, we can either add soft compound or the green stick over the borders, we'll go for the border molding. Each and every segment is recorded. Distobuccal, the mandibular movement is done. For posterior, we'll ask the patient to do Valsalva maneuver, posterior palatal seal area. For labial region, again the lip movement, upward, outward, and downward. For maxillary, I'm saying labial frenum is recorded, buccal frenum is recorded. Then again, PPS is recorded. Then we will line it with, while recording the PPS. Yes, sir. While recording the PPS, we will ask the patient to tilt the head downward by 30 degrees. Yes, it has been asked frequently for your exam. So it has to be, the head has to be tilted 30 degree below the 30 degree below the Frankfurt horizontal. Okay, the Frankfurt horizontal plane should be 30 degree below the horizontal. Clear? So recording the PPS, either you can go for arbitrary scraping of the master cast, which is not done nowadays, or by using fluid wax or low fusing impression compound, that is the green stick compound, can be used. Okay. Now for the post mandibular, again the extension is marked 2 mm short of the border. You have to trim the special tray, then go for the border molding, same as the primary impression, what you have done. Segment by segment, go for the border molding. Distobuccal region, again close along against the force. Posterior and middle alveolar lingual sulcus, the lateral movements of the tongue. Anterior lingual sulcus, it is the outward movement of the tongue. Labial and the buccal sulcus are recorded by the cheek movements by the operator. Okay. After that, they are lined with either zinc oxide eugenol or elastomeric light body. Clear? So that's how we get the final impression. Clear? So these are again same steps, again described in a single slide. Okay. So what we do for the maxillary and mandible, different movements. Now for flabby ridges. Flabby ridges, what are the things we have to consider during flabby ridges? See, these flabby ridges, either you will have to surgically remove it. Flabby ridges, you will have to surgically remove the flabby portion so that it doesn't not interfere the denture retention. Or another option is that if the flabby portion is very little and the patient does not want a surgical option, either you can use a special tray with an extra spacer so that you don't compress the flabby region. Or you can go for a window technique in which the window is fabricated or a window is cut from the special tray, and that flabby region alone is recorded with a mucostatic impression material. So is it visible now? Is it visible? Somebody told me the screen is not visible. Okay. Now we'll go for what is window technique. Okay, fine. Window technique. Window technique, what we do is we first take an alginate primary impression. After that, we fabricate a special tray. Then over the flabby ridge region, we cut a window over that region so that that region is not compressed. Then rest of the region, we will take impression with the normal technique, except the flabby region. I'll show you the picture, then it will be more clear to you all. After that, the flabby region is recorded with a mucostatic impression material so that it is not compressed. Okay, then we'll fabricate at the cast. So we take the primary impression, then we make a special tray. Now you have got an anterior flabby ridge. So what we do is we relieve this area. We make a window over the special tray. Now we do the border molding, everything except the window region. We will record everything. we will record everything. Now what we'll do after the border molding and wash impression, we'll place the tray over that region and we will pick the whole tray along with the flabby ridge region. We will record it with a stock tray with an alginate, thin mix alginate, or with plaster of Paris. Technically nowadays we don't use it, or with a low viscosity elastomeric impression material. Okay, that is how we do record the flabby ridge region with the window technique. Clear?